was like, and it from your episodes also, that mentorship is a huge part of that. Mentorship while you're growing up, how to dealing with it now, but also back then as you were preparing, what was mostly what is ingrained in my mind from the episodes I heard was how important and valuable the mentorship was from by Maddie Clark and your agent David Bauman, because they're both, it seemed like they were not taking any crap from like whenever there was like shit hit the fan, whether it was at Utah or whether it was in at the AIS when there's like some challenges coming up. Matty Clark was like, I enjoyed listening to him genuinely because he seems like the perfect mentor. The way he like expresses himself, the way he talks about certain situations in life that you have to step over, fight through. But also David Bauman, how he's preparing you for to be the number one pick, and throughout this whole process. Can you tell to me how important that mentorship was at the time, and having the right people around you to keep you straight in line on that?
Yeah, Marty's integral part of a lot of Australia's best players. Myself, Delhi, Paddy Mills, Joe Ingles, the list goes on. He's had his fingerprints on all those guys, and he's coached professionally. He's coached the Boomers. He's coached college, but I think his best strength is just that day to day. He's just very even keel. He's the same every day, and he had that kind of intimidating factor when you're a young kid that you were scared to kind of go into his office and get chewed out by him. It was no nonsense. And I spoke about, there was some games he told me to leave the bench, go back to the locker room, go away. And but deep down, once you reflect, you realize that he likes that. He likes that in guys like myself, that fire and going back and forth. And the most important thing you come to realize with maturity, and once you become from a boy to a teenager to a man, is that mistakes are good. Mistakes are natural and they're going to happen. It's how you learn from those mistakes, and it's correcting them. And that was the hardest thing when you're younger. You think like you made a mistake or you've done something stupid, that the world's going to end. That wasn't a big deal for Ramadi Clark. It was the next day after that mistake, which can go two ways for most people, right? And that's the same as basketball. You have a bad game, you miss a shot, it's always next play. So Marty was huge. Really enjoyed my time with him, and he's just such a really good person. And then you've got, who was the other name you mentioned? Sorry,
David Bauman.
Oh, David Bauman, your agent, yes. Yeah, I was lucky. I'm not going to lie, like to sign with them. I didn't go through a deep recruiting process. They recruited me in 2003 at the World Junior Championships.
World champion, yep.
And yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about the game, was flying blind. We ended up just signing. The woo was that he was Michael Jordan's agency, so we're like done. Box ticked, and yeah, I was lucky that I just chose someone that actually was a good person and guy and had morals and was a lawyer by trade, so I understood the business world. And he's just so much different to a lot of these agents you see today, trying to make guys influencers. He's not about any of that, and it just fit in perfectly. And I honestly believe, it was just a gift from above that it worked out that way, because if you choose the wrong agent, it can go horrendously wrong for you, not only with your career, but financially and family and all that. So that worked out perfectly. And look, David and I are still friends to this day. We speak a fair bit, and he's he's still doing some agent stuff over there in the US and doing pretty well. But he's a smaller guy. He's not a big lights agency, which I think suits him perfectly. But the unfortunate thing is there's a lot of guys that don't want that these days. They want the name in lights, and you try to tell young guys, like, go to the guy that's not the name in lights, because they're going to give you more time. They're going to answer your phone call. They're going to make sure that they have an incentive for you to do well. When you're just another name and number in these big agencies, yeah, you're with the cool agency, but he's taking the 10 players that are better than you's phone call before he takes yours. So that's just something that it's hard to explain to young guys. But those two guys were, a tremendous help throughout my career. And I think David, especially away from basketball, just his business savvy and mentorship. Times when I'm losing my shit about a coach or a GM or wanting to be traded, and he'd always have an even keel, balanced take on things, and kind of talk you off the ledge in a good way and get on with it.